It began, as it always did, with a hymn. Onward, Christian Soldiers, Eileen Duffy's favourite. Her voice soared sharp and commanding, a battle cry disguised as devotion. The church's thin wooden pews creaked beneath us, the hymnal clasped tightly in my hands, its pages smudged and worn from years of use. Around us, the small congregation in our border town chapel sang in a discordant harmony that filled the cold, echoing space. The sound seemed to reverberate off the high stone walls, rising to the rafters where cobwebs hung like forgotten prayers. Eileen's idea of heaven was not the golden streets of Revelation, but a mission house in some far-off land, where Protestant virtue could shine as a beacon against the world's moral decay. Her faith was not soft or yielding, but a flame burning fiercely, consuming everything in its path. And I was to be her offering, her fostered missionary daughter, sanctified and set apart for God's work. When the final chord of the organ faded into silence, she turned to me, her gloved hand gripping my shoulder with an intensity that bordered on painful. "Angela," she said, her tone as clipped as ever. "Pastor Paul's eyes were on you during the recitation. He sees the Lord's hand in your voice, and so do I. You'll take the lead next week. It's your duty." "Yes, Ma," I murmured. Her words left me uneasy. Her praise was a double-edged sword, a validation I craved, and a burden I could not escape. Outside, the streets stretched out in weary lines, their edges blurred by the persistent drizzle that seemed to cling to this place. Dunmurry, the town that I'd called my own since I was 8 years old, was predominantly Irish Catholic. However, owing to the fact that my adoptive mother, Eileen, Mrs. Duffy to her neighbours, belonged to a large Irish Protestant community, I had also become a somewhat reluctant member of the flock. Located about 5 miles southwest of Belfast, Dunmurry in the county of Antrim sat at the tip of bog meadows, a peat-encrusted floodplain and place of natural beauty. Flanked by the River Lagan and valley, in another world it would have been a wonderful place to grow up. Children could play amongst the long grasses and breathe good air under the watchful eyes of the Black Mountain. Most of the inhabitants worked in the surrounding factories, producing cigarettes, linen, rope, or up at the shipyards in Belfast, while others fled across the water in search of an easier, more peaceful way of life. The city was a distant murmur compared to the claustrophobic closeness of our town, where the divide between Catholic and Protestant was not just a line, but a chasm carved deep into the soul of the community. The terraced houses leaned into one another like drunken men, their soot-streaked facades hiding lives that were both ordinary and extraordinary in their resilience.